Hello and welcome to today's episode of Leadership Dialogue, the show where we go beyond headlines to explore the decisions, challenges, and visions shaping today's leaders. From leadership to politics to business, governance to social impact, we bring you in-depth conversations with the people driving change in Nigeria and beyond. My name is Omotola Adeleke. Esther Undoma will be joining me on the program as well. Esther, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
All right, I also have the National Youth Leader of the Labour Party, Comrade Eragbe Anslem. You're welcome, sir.
It's my pleasure to be here.
So today, our focus will be on Labour Party's legal victory and what it means for the party's credibility and its connection to 2027 politics. In a landmark ruling, the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has affirmed Senator Nenadi Usman as the valid national chairman of the Labour Party. Justice Peter Alifu directed INEC to recognize the Usman-led 29-member caretaker committee as the party's sole authority pending a national convention. The judgment relied on the Supreme Court April 4, 2025 ruling, which overturned previous Court of Appeal and High Court decisions recognizing Julius Abure. Reacting to the court order, the National Vice Chairman Southwest of the Labour Party, Dr. Abayomi Arabambi, has rejected the Federal High Court ruling that removed Julius Abure as national chairman, insisting the judgment misrepresented the Supreme Court April 4 decision and lacked jurisdiction. Arabambi described the ruling as flawed, arguing that only the Supreme Court can interpret or vary its judgment under Section 235 of the Constitution. He maintained that the Apex Court never influenced.
Whether you're shooting a podcast, hosting a live stream, recording interviews, or bringing your next big idea to life, we've recorded.
The Federal High Court has affirmed Senator Nenadi Usman as the valid chairman and national chairman of the Labour Party LP. Justice Peter Alifu directed INEC to recognize the Usman-led 29-member caretaker committee as the party's sole authority pending a national convention. The judgment relied on the Supreme Court April 4, 2025 ruling, which overturned previous Court of Appeal and High Court decisions recognizing Julius Abure. Reacting to the court order, the National Vice Chairman Southwest of the Labour Party, Dr. Abayomi Arabambi, has rejected the Federal High Court ruling that removed Julius Abure as national chairman, insisting the judgment misrepresented the Supreme Court April 4 decision and lacked jurisdiction. Arabambi described the ruling as flawed, arguing that only the Supreme Court can interpret or vary its judgment under Section 235 of the Constitution. He maintained that the Apex Court never invalidated Abure's election nor declared Nenadi Usman party leader. Arabambi said the party has filed an appeal and a motion for stay of execution, insisting Abure remains chairman pending the appellate review. Comrade Eragbe, once again, you're welcome to the program, sir.
It's my pleasure. Comrade Eragbe Anslem, the National Youth Leader of Labour Party, Nigeria.
All right. So now that the Federal High Court has affirmed, the national chairmanship, she is now the authentic national chairman of the Labour Party. Talking about Senator Nenadi Usman here, how does this change the trajectory, for the Labour Party?
Basically, I think everything has turned positively, as it were now, for the party particularly, and for its followership across the nation and globally. However, for us to be sure that my opening statement is correct, I will just quickly run through a page or two of the Federal High Court order, a consequential order that was issued by the Federal High Court for the implementation of the Supreme Court judgment from the 4th of April 2025. Quickly, Justice Peter Olifu, remember we filed a matter seeking a consequential order, of course. I will just read, so that I will be very explicit to the public. Now, the judge said on page 10 of that judgment, I will read, he said, the whole essence of this suit in the court opinion is not to create or relitigate what has been decided by the Apex Court or any other courts in the land, but to look at the Supreme Court judgment and see whether setting up a caretaker committee at the material time was a necessity to give effect to the decision of the 4th April 2025 Supreme Court judgment. In so doing, he said, in my considered view, the doctrine of necessity captures the inauguration of the National Caretaker Committee headed by the plaintiff, Senator Esther Ninadi Usman, as the national chairman, Dali Tuwokuta as the national secretary. Now, the issue of local standard, jurisdiction, abuse of court processes raised by the defendant, therefore, do not arise. Now, I so hold. Quickly, a reference of me say, a political party being a voluntary organization or association is like a club, and dispute over its internal affair is non-justiciable, and the court has no jurisdiction to entertain them. They have the right to voluntarily choose its own leadership and officers. Now, this is what the fourth defendant, that's Labour Party, has done, in my considered opinion. A reference was made in the case of APC versus Moses in 2021, a 14 NWR, that's this legal distinct point, page 235 to page 232 of that judgment. Now, consequently, the objections of the defendants on all legal issues placed side by side with the Supreme Court judgment on the same subject matter involving the same parties to this suit do not and cannot supersede the opinion and verdict of the apex court. To say otherwise will tantamount to judicial rascality, judicial impertinence, and judicial insubordination, because there's a Supreme Court judgment. Now, this position also reflects, affects, and covers every other High Court judgment, orders, or decisions on the same issue under the principle and doctrine of certiorari decisis or precedent. These precedents have been laid. Now, this judgment, therefore, only limits itself to the issues raised by the plaintiff in our originating summons relating to the Supreme Court judgment, of which this court has the constitutional role to interpret and give effect. Now, based on my reasoning and conclusion above stated, the court therefore rules as follows. Now, herein are the rulings. 1. The question raised by the plaintiff and submitted for determination are all answered in the affirmative. 2. The ratification and inauguration of the plaintiff alongside her committee members, that's all of us, as National Caretaker Committee of the Labour Party, that's the fourth defendant, by communique dated 18th July 2025, is an internal affairs of a political party as alluded, captured, and pronounced by the Supreme Court. Judgment in suit number SCCV 56/2025 between the Esther Ninadi Usman and others versus Labour Party and others delivered on the 4th of April 2025. That's second. The third. It said the first defendant, that is INEC, is hereby ordered and directed to recognize, receive, treat all correspondences emanating from the plaintiff as the National Caretaker Committee chairman as the only underlined in capital letter valid authority to represent the Labour Party, which is the fourth defendant, pending the holding of congresses and convocation of a convention, that's the National Convention, to elect a new national executive of the party. Ruling 4, I make no order as to cost. Ruling 5, judgment is so entered. This is the explicit now in summary. Now the apex court, remember quickly, the FCT High Court set a dangerous precedent when it meddled into the internal affairs of a political party.
So the courts, it shouldn't have been the court's business in the first place.
Thank you. So it shouldn't have been the court business, and that was what the Supreme Court held. And what was the issue? Myself and Julius Abure came from the same national convention for the 10th June 2019 in Akwanga, Nasarawa State.
Okay.
There I was elected as the national youth leader of Labour Party, and Julius Abure was elected as the national secretary. 20 of us were elected. Now, in the office of the national chairman of the party, there are 11 persons. The national chairman, the deputy national chairman South, Alhaji Lamidi Bashir Apapa, the deputy national chairman North, Mrs. Maria Lebeke. Now, subsequently, because of the out-of-court settlement terms reached by Justice Gabriel Kolawole, we were mandated to complete the procedure and processes. What were the issues? The NSC the Nigeria Labour Congress, the TUC, the Trade Union Congress, are the owners of the Labour Party. Because these are the statutory owners of they registered the party for the Nigeria workers.
Okay.
Now the law said they should have a deputy national chairman, NLC, and a deputy national chairman, TUC. Now, if you bring these two, we now have 4 deputy national chairmen ideally. So as at this time, we have not composed those for NLC and TUC. So because of the terms of settlement, Justice Gabriel Kolawole looked inward and said, okay, here are the issues. Now, he gave us a leverage for out-of-court settlement with the terms. So these were the terms. Now, that was why on April 26, 2023, the INEC midwife these terms of settlement. On June 27th, these terms of settlement were executed upon by the Labour Party, then Abure as acting chairman, Farouk as acting secretary. Ayuba Waba, the then NSC president, and his GS. Are you getting it? Executed this contract for implementation. So those terms are: 1, bring in the deputy chairman, NSC and TUC. Second term says the party should not compose the structure of the board of trustee.
Okay.
So SOZ Ejiofor was appointed as the BOT chairman. Mohammed Salisu was appointed as the BOT secretary. Then subsequently will now compose the entire structure nationwide. That is 2. The third clause said which should, because we are going to conduct what is called an all-inclusive and expansive national convention, so that to do away with all the lingering issues. To do that, we needed to now conduct what is called world congresses. So congresses at the world level to elect the world executive.
Okay.
Then the local government congresses to elect the local government executive for the party. Now the state executive, the state congresses to elect the state structure. Now the zonal congresses, then the delegates election. So that it is delegates that vote in a national convention of a political party statutorily in Nigeria by the Nigeria Constitution, by the Electoral Act 2022, and by the Labour Party Constitution. So these terms were contained in the term. And another term said we should now mobilize a minimum of 10 million membership into the party's database. So these were the agreement executed upon. Now, so that you know what went wrong. Now, Julius, we did the first one, brought in the NSC and the TUC, and Olorunfemi for TUC was appointed as the deputy national chairman for NSC. Dr. Mrs. Ladi Ilia was appointed for NLC as the deputy national chairman. So ideally now, remember, we would have had 4 deputy, Alhaji Lamidi Bashir Apapa, who ideally, as at this material time, are you getting it?
Yeah.
Was to be the acting national chairman. Abure
before Senator Nenadi
before Senator Nenadi Esther came in, the real acting national chairman of the party was Alhaji Lamidi Bashiru Apapa, not Julius Abure. Why was this so? On the 4th of April 2023, I'm trying to be brief here.
Please.
The FCT, there was a matter. Now, we had a governorship candidate, Splendor Oko Eze, who emerged as the governorship candidate in Ebonyi State. Now, something happened. After he emerged from the due process, his name sent to INEC, Julius Abure forged a withdrawal letter, wrote a withdrawal letter, forged signatures, got documents, FCT High Court affidavit, FCT High Court letterhead, FCT High Court seal, FCT High Court payment, TSA payment receipt.
All forged.
All forged. And uploaded all of these details in the INEC portal. Now, this young man went to court to say, I have not withdrawn as the elected candidate. He won in the Federal High Court in Abakaliki. Abure appealed that matter to the appeal court. Splendor Okoese won him in appeal court. Julius Abure appealed the matter to the Supreme Court.
So are we saying in summary, Abure shouldn't have been there in the first place?
This is the point I'm coming to, because the world needs to know. Now, and the Supreme Court held with a consequential order that from the foregoing, Splendor Oko Eze was the validly nominated candidate for Ebonyi State, and ordered that the party under Abure put back his name on the INEC portal as a candidate. Abure refused. Abure went further to forge a court order with which he removed Splendor. These things I'm saying, we have the certified truth.
Because these are strong allegations.
We have gone beyond allegations to the point where these matters were subjected to criminal investigation. The Nigeria Police Force Criminal Investigation Department, Area 10, Gariki, Abuja, investigated it matter with forensic audit and came out with a report and indicted Julius Abure.
All right, well, quickly, because of time, now that, Dr. Abayomi Arabambi is coming out to reject, the order from the Federal High Court, what would you think of this assertion?
Now, probably, maybe if I finish this statement, I will jump that statement to come to Arabambi.
Okay.
Arabambi, please listen to me carefully. And I want this to be properly reported. Arabambi was never National Vice Chairman of Labour Party.
In the Southwest.
In the Southwest, he was never. Why? This matter that began to... Abure was on a subsisting FCT High Court restraining order for perjury, for forgery, and criminal conspiracy on the 4th of April 2023. The NWC met on the 5th of April 2023 because of this restraining order, because it was vacuum, and ratified Alhaji Lamidi Bashir Apapa, who became the acting national chairman of the party. But Julius Abure refused in contempt of court and went for illegal and unlawful NEC meeting on the 17th of April 2023, the same day the court was supposed to hear, are you getting it, that matter. So what I'm telling you and the world is now, you see, we are not going to allow this matter rest. Notwithstanding that. So
are we saying the matter has not rested at this point?
The matter has rested because Senator Nenadi is the national chairman, but the legal undertones have not rested. I want you to get,
because INEC has not even captured Senator Nenadi.
INEC has no choice because the Supreme Court is the highest court in the land.
Okay.
That has so dismissed the FCT High Court that recognized Abure, dismissed the appeal. Are you getting a dismissed Abure counter appeal and held the three issues in dispute in favor of Nenadi, for which the federal, this judgment I've just read now, like he said, it did not invent the way, it only gave a consequential order in line with the Supreme Court judgment directing INEC to recognize Nenadi as the national chairman and executive. What that means is remove Abure's name from the portal immediately and put Nenadi's name based on the Supreme Court judgment. Now, Abayomi or Abure, none of them, the issue of local standing, they cannot appeal this matter because this is a Supreme Court judgment with a consequential order. The point I've just made also is to say Arabambi is not. You see, we are going to take him and Abure on this matter legally so that we put the records in Labour Party straight forever. Now, Abure tenure ceased to exist finally on the 8th of June 2024. Are you with me? Now, as at this material time, Arabambi was with us in that struggle when we restrained Julius Abure. I don't know how much of this story you know. Arabambi was with us in the struggle, myself, Splendor Okweze, and a few others, when we restrained Abure. Now, after all of this, Arabambi swallowed his own vomit for whatever reasons and went back to join Abure.
All right. Well,
now, so whatever congresses they claim they had, INEC has made it clear that based on this Supreme Court judgment, that's why they not give Abure code. So whatever gathering they held again, just like the convention of 27th March 2024 was non-existent because there is a Federal High Court judgment of 15th of August.
Okay.
That invalidated that gathering.
All right.
So
okay.
The ones who know today that one, Arabambi Abayomi is not national. That thing they did never existed.
All right. Comrade Aslam, because of time. Okay.
Yeah.
I think you wanted to ask him a
Yes,
question.
I wanted to ask. So with Abure's camp now appealing Justice Lifu's judgments, does it mean that the Nenadi faction they are standing on one toe, or is it a settled matter?
No, like I said, it is a settled matter in law. This is a Supreme Court judgment. The only time you can appeal this judgment is to heaven. Probably if you die, you meet God. Are you getting it? You cannot appeal a Supreme Court judgment. And besides, there is no local standing. What do we mean by local standing? The Supreme Court in its landmark judgment dismissed the FCT High Court judgment of 8 October 2024.
But if you can't appeal a Supreme Court judgment, then why did you take it to the Federal High Court?
Oh, I've just told you, Justice Peter Lifu made it explicit.
Okay.
INEC claimed it is a creation of law that before, if you go to INEC portal, you see Julius Abure arrived at the INEC portal because our tenure lapsed and INEC stopped recognizing him. Are you getting it? Okay. Over the Ondo matter, Abure sought an excuse over the Ondo election matter between July and August. and went to court, asking the court to proclaim him, are you with me, as the chairman, while his tenure had expired, as the chairman of the party. And the FCT High Court erroneously proclaimed, recognized Abule as the chairman and now issued a consequential order to INEC. INEC will obey normally because it's a court order. Are you with me?
Okay.
So INEC now claimed that even though the Supreme Court judgment was in favor of Senator Esther Nenadi, but there is no consequential order for them to come as a creation of law. Are you getting it? So they needed an order. They don't want to interpret the Supreme Court judgment by themselves. So it is this request that now led to why Senator Nenadi Esther Usman and her team had to go back to the court to seek a consequential order. That is
all right, comrade, answer.
this matter is not appealable. It is, you cannot stay execution on this. INEC has a mandate and order to
recognize Senator Nenadi Usman. But let's move away from court orders and court judgment and all that. Now, this is a critical time for the Labour Party. Now, this is why I'm saying this. A former Anambra State Labour Party governorship candidate, George Moralu, recently resigned from the Labour Party. He was not the only one. We also had a member of the Lagos State House of Assembly representing Amuwo-Odofin Constituency 1, Honorable Foluke Stella Osafile. She wasn't the only one. We also had the Imo State Chairman of the Labour Party, Honorable Chief Innocent Nwa David. We also had ex-Labour Party campaign director Akin Osutonkun defecting to the ADC. Now, I want to ask you, with all these defections, with all these resignations, is the Labour Party losing its grips, against, its members?
Okay, let me say this categorically. Sometimes you could understand with these persons who left.
Okay.
How do I mean? These are persons who came with His Excellency, Mr. Peter Obi, to the party.
Okay.
You agree with me that Mr. Peter Obi left the Labour Party 31st December 2025. See, at that level, for those of us at the party's leadership, we also encouraged him to leave so that he could prosecute his presidential aspiration. Because as at that material time, we weren't sure as at what point, are you with me?
Okay.
Sure.
The leadership issues would be over such that INEC will not apply this judgment. Even though we're already in court seeking this consequential order and a date for the judgment had been fixed for 17th or 19th of January, which was eventually delivered on the 21st of January 2026. So for us, it was right for Peter Obi to have gone to pursue his aspiration. So most of these persons you have mentioned came with him. Are you getting? Their loyalty is first and foremost to him.
Okay, not before the Labour Party.
No. I want to be very honest.
Okay.
So likewise, so many other people you see, these are persons who came with him from particularly the PDP. Are you getting in that?
Okay, but
that's often said that. Now let me tell you, the world should be aware that the only institutional political party in Nigeria is the Labour Party. Institutional because it is owned by the Nigerian workers. So please let it be on record. For instance, you see, I am badged in 3 badges.
The TUC, the Labour Party, the NLC.
This is the NLC, the Nigeria Labour Congress. This is the original founder of the Labour Party. I may need to say this here. I'm a deputy director today in the Nigeria Research Institution sector.
Okay.
For those who don't know, I work with the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure. I'm a trained engineer, metallurgical materials engineer. Like I said, that is one. I am the National Organizing Secretary of the Academic Staff Union of Research Institutions in Nigeria.
Then why go into politics? Because I did some research on you and I discovered some of these things truly. And I was wondering, with all these qualifications and professional, attributes of yours, why dive into politics?
Now, you see, people need to know that the hub of administration globally is the political platform. Now, the Nigerian workers all over the world, we have the Labour Party in the UK and other parts of the world. The essence of the Labour Party is to pursue, it's an ideology of Nigeria, global workers, the workforce, is for productivity.
Okay.
Now, it's for you to meet their welfare needs. Are you getting it? Now, the only way to do that is through legislation. So you cannot help the workers of any land if you do not have a legislative platform or a political platform. This was why globally the labor movement deemed it fit to register the labor. So Nigeria subscribes to the International Labour Organization, ILO. You are aware. Now, and it is the ILO philosophy for the workers' unions globally to have register a political party to also feature representation in governance. Are you getting it? So that legislations can be made at those levels to protect the workforce.
All right.
This is it. So people, like I just told you, one, I'm a civil servant.
Okay.
I've said that. I don't need to overemphasize it. Two, I am a labor leader in Nigeria. Three, I am the national youth leader of the Labour Party. Now, I stand on two legs. Why representing the workforce, particularly as a civil servant, I now represent the labor movement in Nigeria to be able to advance. You see, people like us have been trained to do what we are doing. Are you getting? And the law permits us to do what we are doing.
Comrade Anselm, quickly, let's. You made mention of something. You said you were part of those people who advised Peter Obi to move on to the ADC because of the leadership crisis you had back then. Would you advise Peter Obi, now that you feel some of these legal matters and litigations have been settled to a certain extent, would you advise Peter Obi to come back to the Labour Party?
Now, I will say this frankly. For instance, Mr. Peter Obi has evolution. He has his own decisions to make.
Okay.
For instance, the advice we gave him was a patriotic advice. Are you getting it? Don't remain with us in order to lose out on your pursuit for a better Nigeria. Go ahead. If he chooses to come back, particularly within the limit of time, remember there are time limit within which he can come back. Are you getting it? And still do the needful. Beyond which, if he doesn't, even if he comes on a later day, he cannot. So I use this point to say it's left for His Excellency Peter Obi, for instance, to first know whether the political arrangement he has in place in the ADC will suffice to earn him the presidential ticket he's seeking, or to say it will not. Why not let me come back home? Are you getting it? I'll continue my aspiration. So that is that for him to decide. For us, we are here. Our mandate, basically, as the national youth leader of the party and the national woman leader, these two offices in the party are in charge of the national mobilization of membership. For instance, the law says, as the national youth leader, the national youth leader shall be in charge of national mobilization of the youth of this country in line with the party's ideology. Two, the national youth leader shall initiate and implement strategic programs and policies that will endear the youth of this country to the party. Now, this is an open-ended constitutional imperative. Shall initiate, shall implement. So this is a constitutional approving authority. Now, if you look at what we began to do, sometimes in 2021-22, now out of this policy direction, we initiated the ICT platforms to register membership. Our target from our office was about 45 million Nigeria for 2023 because of the influx of the youth and the party's ideology. And we began to do that. We design and develop 3 functional ICT solutions. The Labour Party National Mobilization Platform that registers membership and issues certificates, issues membership cards. That's 1. 2, with 6 unique identification number system. I may not need to go into all of those strategic details. 2, we design and develop what is called the Labour Party Election Manager, which is the mobile application, the situation room. That situation room is able to online real time display election polling unit results online real time.
Okay.
Now,
in preparation for 2027 election.
Well, we have designed and developed all of those functional systems. But it's a part of the problems we had because I've already felt threatened with what we were doing.
But I would want to go back.
Okay. Because I'm quickly trying to marry my duties as to why we are here. The next place to move forward to. The third part, the solution we designed and developed was the election results collation and display window, which is equivalent of the INEC IRF portal. So on that display window, we are able to upload the INEC from EC8A that
say no, he has not declared his intentions to be the president.
Right, thank you.
So who is this preparation for?
Now maybe for the first time I may open up a bit for the world to see some things. Now, you may not be aware, I was a presidential aspirant on the platform of the Labour Party in 2019.
Oh.
I followed up with that aspiration in 2023 until Peter Obi came on board. Now, this statement I've made now was with the express initiative and authorization of the leadership of the Nigeria Labour Congress. Then under President Ayuba Waba, with the active involvement of the now President Joe Ajero, Professor Tisian Duwaku, and other few stakeholders. Are you with me?
Yes.
This matter I've just dated back to 2016. So the point I've made with this is to say the labor movement in Nigeria already set up a strategy to reclaim this country long ago in 2016. And the face of that reclaiming had been Iragbe Anslem. So all these things I have mentioned here were done with the active involvement of the Nigerian labor movement.
So are you saying you're going to be a presidential aspirant for 2027 presidential election? Because I would want to understand.
Well, I am not going to sit here now for the first time to make that declaration.
Okay.
But like I said, I've just made a statement I've not made in public for the first time since 2016. Is the statement I've just made. So why I made this statement today is to let you know that the Nigerian labor movement, you see, Peter Obi benefited from the Nigerian labor benevolence for a lot of reasons. The labor movement had to call me personally to order to say, okay, let's do A, B, C, D. Are you getting it? And see how far we can get with it because of A, B, C, D. I'm not going to go into that.
So you're saying the Labour Party remains strong and viable?
There is no other political party in Nigeria. You see, there are many things that have gone on that we cannot see today. But the good news is, from next week, by the grace of God, we are now going to roll out fully and unveil some of the things I've said here on a global scale and commence that new process to build up to the congresses, the all-inclusive and expansive national convention, and to now lay a foundation as to Labour Party is going to provide for the first time candidates for all elective offices in Nigeria,
including the president.
Including the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
But 2027,
whoever the party is going to decide to zero in is not what I can say now.
Okay, because 2027 is close by. We might say there is no time, and no one is coming out to say, hey, I might probably come out for, the presidency. Alex Oti is the only known person in the Labour Party who has come out to outrightly say he's going to come back again to be re-elected in 2027. We would expect at least some individuals in the Labour Party,
influential individuals,
exactly, some party leaders to come out to say, yes, I'm coming out, because these are critical times.
I agree totally. You see, because I said we are foundationally rooted. We appreciate the crisis that bedeviled us, but the good news is we have overcome the crisis with the said order. We are believing that it should not take INEC not more than 3 days. This court order was served on INEC on Monday, the 26th of January. Today is Thursday, the 29th.
Yes.
That's 3 days ago. So it's expected within 3 days, which is to end Friday, ideally, the INEC, because it's procedural. Procedural because the INEC haven't received that letter on Monday, later on Monday. We need to call an internal meeting of leadership.
Okay.
Where the national chairman of the INEC, the legal unit, and other EPM and other units will be there to have a discussion and to minute to say implement, because they don't have a choice on this. It's another.
And we're hopeful that after that we would be having aspirant coming out to say yes.
The point I've made now is to say you can take that from me, but the only thing I don't have a mandate to say is that I cannot tell you that this will be Labour Party presidential candidate.
Okay.
But I'm telling you,
aspiring candidate.
yes, no, I know those who are going to aspire.
Okay.
I know, but I can't tell you who will be the candidate.
Can we mention names of those who are aspiring?
We'll come to that. But I'm telling you now to watch out that the Labour Party is going to provide candidates for the 36 states governors,
Okay.
the 109 senators, the 360 House of Reps, and presidential aspirants for which one will emerge as a presidential candidate.
All right. Comrade Amsalam, we need to go on a short break right now. And of course, we'll still get to discuss some, other areas, especially had to do with the 2027 politics and the Labour Party as well. We will be right back.
Welcome to LJE Studio, where creativity meets production excellence. Whether you're shooting a podcast, hosting a live stream, recording interviews, or bringing your next big idea to life, we've built the perfect space for you. Everything you need to create premium content is right here. Come record, come create, come be inspired. Visit www.ljenigeria.org/LJE-studio or call 0705-245-3714 to book your session today. Welcome to LJE Studio, where creativity meets production excellence. Whether you're shooting a podcast, hosting a live stream, recording interviews, or bringing your next big idea to life, we've built the perfect space for you. Everything you need to create premium content is right here. Come record, come create, come be inspired. Visit www.ljenigeria.org/LJE-studio or call 0705-245-3714 to book your session today. Welcome to LJE Studio, where creativity meets production excellence. Whether you're shooting a podcast, hosting a live stream, recording interviews, or bringing your next big idea to life, we've built the perfect space for you. Everything you need to create premium content is right here. Come record, come create, come be inspired. Visit www.ljenigeria.org/LJE-studio or call 0705-245-3714 to book your session today.
All right, you're welcome back. Don't forget, it's still Leadership Dialogue. And of course, we're still here with Comrade Eragbe Anslem. Still talking about, 2027 politics, especially as it relates to the Labour Party. And of course, from what you've heard so far, we've talked about this Federal High Court order to affirm Senator Nenadi as the authentic national chairman of the Labour Party. But quickly, I'd want to ask you this question. While you were talking, I'd wanted to ask you this. With the defections and all that, in your own opinion, do you think Nigeria is leading into a one-party system?
Well, thank you. Quickly, what it portends, or what it looks like in Nigeria is, we've seen a situation where, for many reasons, we're almost tending towards a one-party state. It's obvious, it's palpable. But the reality of that is because, you see, those who had the privilege of benefiting from the people's mandate are actually taking the people's mandate elsewhere for a lot of reasons. Part of the reasons could be a lot of governors are afraid. They're already on the weather, under the weather, EFCC and some other issues. So probably they are finding APC as a safe haven for their own safety. But that is that. But let me quickly warn and advise to say, you see, the people's mandate, the people's voice, the people are going to decide ultimately. You see, we saw what happened in 2023. I gave you a background, but I won't go into why that happened. But we have learned also from that to say, Nigeria is not going to go into a one-party state. So long as political parties also insist on the right thing being done. Just like the Supreme Court gave us a judgment, so we must commend the judiciary. Why? Because at the time, of course, a lot of accusations have been laid on APC. But if we had reneged on our own effort, probably it will have told that direction. And today we'll ultimately point a finger at APC. But we insisted and went to the law. And the law gave us judgment. And now the law also has given us an order. So INEC will have no choice than to do what? To put Nenadi's name.
All right.
And to recognize the Labour Party's candidate. So let other parties and other people keep doing the same thing all over.
All right.
I'll be able to rescue this country and ensure that it does not go into a one-party state.
All right. So thank you very much, Comrade Anslem. So that brings us to the end of the program on this episode on Leadership Dialogue. And once again, we appreciate your insightful opinions on this matter. Esther, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, so don't forget to follow, like, and share at LJE News, also at LJE Nigeria. Thank you very much. Bye for now.